Hi YouTube, welcome to the Pagan Perspective, and today we're talking about protection. Hi guys, welcome to Subs Week. This is Wednesday and I'm your host Megan, aka Sabirisry. And today we're talking about protection and why we protect ourselves and who or what we're protecting ourselves from. One of the things I'm really excited about is how different all of the subs are and how all of the different hosts are in how they feel about these topics. And again, I'm probably going to be a very different opinion on here than most of the others. So let's get started. The topic has been read a couple of times, but in case you haven't seen any of the other videos, the topic comes from Wisps and Whimsy. I love that name. And it says, protection from what? It went on a little bit about how they've been a subscriber for a year, but they said that while paging through Pinterest and going through pagan YouTube videos, they noticed that there's a lot of protection subjects. Drawing circles, using runes, creating spell jars or incantations, or incense or rituals, all with the intent to give the practitioner protection from something. What is this malevolent force that we are trying to protect ourselves from? Do you, whoever responds, me this time, make protections a large part of your practice? And thank you so much. And they really said some wonderful things about pagan perspective. So thank you, Wisps and Whimsy. So this force, this malevolent force that they're talking about, whatever it might be that we're trying to protect ourselves from is A, why do people start with protection and what is the force that we're trying to protect ourselves from? So let's start with why beginning witches, beginning pagans, are often taught defensive magic first. And let's be real. This is what protection is. It's defensive magic. So I know this sounds a little bit corny, but in some ways, to look at the metaphor of it, think of Harry Potter. And at the beginning, Harry learns defense against the dark arts, well before he ever learns anything offensive. That's the general idea. So when we talk about magical protection and why we learn it first is because you need to learn how to protect yourself before you go out there and begin using magic offensively. Now, this doesn't mean you will ever use it offensively in a negative way. But when I say the word offensively, I don't actually mean it in a way that is attacking other people. To me, creating change in your own life, bringing about more luck, bringing about, bringing love to you, healing, all of these things are offensive spells. And the reason why I call them offensive spells is because they have an intent, they have a direction, they have a purpose, and they are meant to do something instead of putting the wall up and protecting yourself from something. So when you're first learning as a pagan, when I teach my children one day, little witchlets, I will be teaching them defensive magic first. And that is because before you go out and start doing things outside of yourself and pushing things outside of yourself, you need to make sure that you can hold your own, that you have a strong foundation, a strong grounded core. And that's what these magical protections are all about. Now, that's that reason of why it's taught first, at least in my faith. Let's go on to the other side of it, which is what is the force we're protecting ourselves against? And this is where my faith, my tradition, does differ from some of the other hosts in that I do believe that there are malevolent forces. I do believe that there are different spirits, demons, other entities, and in particular, other magical practitioners who can use negative magic against you. And it is important when you are a beginning witch, beginning pagan, to learn these protections in order to keep yourself safe. I liken it to the idea of a computer. So you buy a computer, it's brand new, shiny, out of the box, brand new pagan saying, yeah, goddess worship, right? Okay, so you get that computer out of the box. What's one of the first things you want to make sure that you do? Install virus protection, anti-malware, and anti-spamware. Those are some of the things you want to do. Unless it's a Mac, but you know what? Even then, you should probably have something on it. So the idea is that you need to have some protection. And that's before you get on the internet. You do that before you get out there, before you expose yourself to potential threats. And that's the idea of protection magic. So if you are able to protect yourself psychically and magically to these threats that are out there, whether or not they're going to attack you, it's a crapshoot. Who knows? But if they do, then you're protected. And that's the key. One of the other reasons is that when you begin magical workings, it's almost like you have a beacon. You suddenly then become part of the magical world and part of the community. You're more visible once you begin attuning yourself with the magical forces of the earth and beyond, the other realms, the other planes. It's like you're shining a little bit of a spotlight on yourself. And whenever you do that, you're going to draw more attention. And more attention can sometimes be a great thing. And other times, more attention can bring negative attention just as much as the positive attention. And that's why it's so important to have that virus protection and that spyware up in order to protect yourself from these threats that could potentially harm you. So that's, I hope, what you are asking for in this. Unfortunately, my tradition, like I said, is a hereditary tradition, and it's not a public tradition, which means I can't share with you many of the different protections, powerful protections that I place on myself and on my family and on my home. However, I highly recommend using some of the protections that you find around or becoming initiated into a tradition or a path and learning some of their protections. Basically, anything you can do to protect yourself if you're going to be working within the magical world. It's really important. So that's about it for today. Short video. I think that might be a record for me. But I thought this was a great topic, and hopefully I answered your questions. And again, if you have any other questions or feedback, please leave it in the comments below. I'll try to respond as best I can. And thank you so much for watching. For those of you in the Northern Hemisphere, I know I'm in New England, and today is Wednesday. Tomorrow is Samhain, guys. I'm so excited. It's going to be amazing. It's one of my favorite holidays, and I wish you all a very blessed Samhain. Blessed be.